Good afternoon. I'm glad you all are here. I would like to just share a few important points about our work. So, as we share information about the draft recommendations that make up our district's 25-26 draft plan in response to the 2024 Comprehensive Review, this plan reflects months of careful study, listening to our community, and staying rooted in our commitment to providing the strongest possible learning experiences for every student in every neighborhood. At the heart of it, I know our families want clarity, stability, and high-quality opportunities for their children. This plan is designed to honor those values while strengthening consistency and access across CMS. Every 4 years, we take a step back and examine how well our programs, school boundaries, and student assignment policies are serving the community. This review helps us ask the questions that matter most. Are all students getting equitable access to strong academic programs? Are we using our facilities and transportation resources wisely? Are our decisions aligned with what families tell us they need? And do students have clear, predictable pathways from elementary through high school? During the 2024 Conference Review, families told us they value school options, but they also want more simplicity, consistency, and transparency as their children move through the system. So as we shift from school choice to program choice, we're focusing on what students learn rather than what specific school they must attend. This shift gives families more stability with programs, more clarity because programs will follow clear pathways K-12 in each zone, and more equitable access, so programs aren't clustered in only certain areas. Families will still have access to the specialized learning they love, just with more predictable, consistent, and aligned pathways. We will offer 6 clear, high-quality program themes. To simplify choices and ensure strong options in every zone, we're organizing programs into 6 themes: visual and performing arts, Montessori, International Baccalaureate, Learning Immersion Talent Development, World Languages, STEM, and our early colleges. Each theme will be available in all 3 transportation zones, so students can start in elementary school and continue through high school in their transportation zone. As we refine and consolidate programs, families should be confident that the arts and STEM education will continue district-wide as outlined in our core experiences in all schools in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. World languages, IB, LITD, Montessori, and early college pathways will grow and not disappear. Students will continue to receive rich, rigorous learning experiences even when program structures shift. As we continue to operate, Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools will continue to provide a core experience at all 185 schools. We're committed to ensuring that any transitions are smooth and supportive. Students in terminal grades, 5th, 8th, and 12th, can stay in their current school during the implementation year, which will be fall of 2027, with transportation provided. Students in earlier grades may request a transfer to remain at their current school based on the following: space availability, student meets eligibility requirements, and parents can provide transportation. Students who want to stay within their chosen program theme will receive priority placement in their new transportation zone, and transportation will be provided. Our students may attend their home school based on their address, also with transportation provided. Our student programs, planning, and placement team will work directly with each family impacted. This plan aligns closely with the 23 bond referendum, which helps us modernize schools, reduce overcrowding, and expand specialty program options. As we open new buildings and renovate others, we're ensuring long-term program sustainability, high-quality programming, and fair distribution of seats across the county. So we will continue to partner with the community with community meetings, surveys, direct outreach, parent square updates, and social media. So I'll take just a moment and walk through the timeline. So step 1 began last night. It included a presentation which was a review of the draft plan in response to the 2024 Comprehensive Review. Our community engagement will begin at the beginning of March with our third-party partner at all of our comprehensive high schools, including program choice themes and continuums from March through April. The final draft plan presented to the Board of Education will be presented in April, a public hearing in May, and the Board of Education proposed vote will occur at the end of May. Step 2 will occur in the fall, and that includes the response to the 2024 Conference Review boundary presentation to the Board of Education. So we'll go back out into the community, do additional community engagement, including school boundaries in the fall. The final draft proposed plan for school boundaries will be presented to the Board of Education in October, a public hearing in November, and the Board of Education proposed vote in December of 2026. Said differently, Step 1 and Step 2 will have their own engagement opportunities to gain robust and intensive feedback from the community. So in closing, our goal is to be straightforward with the community to ensure every student, no matter where they live, has a clear, supportive, and successful pathway from kindergarten through graduation. These recommendations reflect both who we are as a community and who we aspire to be as a district. I look forward to continuing these important conversations with families across the county in our community engagement. We continue to create endless possibilities for every student in CMS. Put simply, we will continue to collaborate to graduate students enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Balknight. Thank you all for being here. At this time, we'll have an opportunity for some questions for Dr. Balknight and the team. We're going to keep these questions focused on the draft plan in response to the 2024 comprehensive review. If you would, state your name and outlet as you're asking your question, and we'll get started. Sound good? All right. Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca Noel from Charlotte-Mecklenburg. My question is, what does this mean, or the reorganization of magnet programs, what does that mean for educators? Will they have to move from one school to another? If they're at a school right now with a magnet program that won't have one anymore, what does that mean for educators?
So great question. So we talked about we have 16 different program themes today, 71 schools. So we're reduced to 6 themes. So we intend to concentrate on those few themes. So if you're at a school that has a program that we are recommending not to continue to move forward, the teacher would remain at that school and work in that school, because certainly we need our teachers, and all schools receive the standard course of study. So they would definitely have things to do and work there. Now, if they were interested in being a part of an IB program, an LITD IB program, and their school didn't have it any longer, then we certainly would work with them if there's space at an IB school. We move teachers around the district all the time, so that wouldn't be difficult.
James Farrell, WFA. I know you talked a little bit about the difference between school choice and program choice. Can you explain a little bit about what inspired this change, and maybe what sort of issues or challenges you were seeing with the school choice concept that you felt needed to be changed here?
That's an excellent question. So one of the things you will hear me say all the time, I believe that we have 185 excellent schools. So we don't want people to misunderstand that we're saying these schools are better than the schools that don't have a program. We want families to make the decision because they love the arts, to be a part of an arts pathway, program choice, not to do this because you want to go to a specific school. We have other ways for you to go to the school in your attendance boundary, or transfer to a school if there's a space that fits the needs of your child. So we're trying to separate the two, because we really want people to have these seats that really love whatever the program theme is, because it's going to be amplified, enriched, and concentrated.
Jonathan.
So I know one thing that parents probably, that's going to stick out to them is the boundary change part of this. I don't want to get too far down the road, because I know you said that's later in the year, but do you have any idea on how boundaries will change? For instance, we saw the last time you all really changed boundaries, it mostly affected Southern Mecklenburg County. So are we talking countywide? Can you give us any indication of how that's going to play out?
That's a great question. So we have a $2.5 billion bond package. So we know that as we build replacement schools and new schools, we're going to have to address attendance boundaries. The majority of those things will be addressing attendance boundaries for schools that are coming online. We shared last night, for example, Albert Edwin Waddell. We're recommending open as a comprehensive high school. We're also recommending that our IB program go to the school. So they will have choice seats there, but they will also need to have some type of boundary around the school. So that's an example of a boundary that we would talk about with the community with a different engagement in the fall. So we don't anticipate a large number of boundary impacts. All of that was shared in the presentation last night. Again, we said last night and we'll say today, we want to be transparent. So we don't want to go out into the community this spring and wait to talk about boundaries in the fall and there be a surprise to the community in the fall. So any boundary that we're saying will have to be addressed has already been mentioned in the presentation that was shared last night. So very few.
Stephanie
Escobar, Spectrum News. Will the choice themes remain in the 71 schools across the district, or would there be an expansion of that?
So we're reducing the themes to 6. And what we're also saying is that if you're a school that has not had a lot of participation in a theme that you've had, if we're keeping the theme, then we still are recommending that we not have the theme at that school. And that's where we offer that if you're in 5th, 8th, or 12th grade, you could finish out your grade span there. You also could stay at the school because you really like the school, which is more of school choice, not program choice. Then we could offer you a transfer to the school if parents could provide transportation. You could stay with the program theme and go to the theme in your transportation zone, and we would work with you if you want to go to a different theme. The whole purpose is that if we don't have a lot of families that have expressed interest in a program theme at a school, we want to reduce some of those, concentrate where there's been heavy interest, invite those children to come over because we have space for them in their transportation zone so that we can continue to make our program themes extremely robust and national models. So we want to consolidate, we want to do fewer themes so that we can focus, continue to create specialized training for teachers, and put the resources in those 6 themes.
John.
I forgot to announce myself. Jonathan with WSOC. How did you all settle on those 6 themes? What determined those 6?
Great. Based on interest, based on popularity across the board. Also, the other thing that we felt was important, today we have school choice in elementary that doesn't have a feeder to a middle and a high. So the other thing that we were committed to, that if you want to as a family, you can start in kindergarten with a focus, and if you love it and it's a fit for your family, then you know in kindergarten your pathway to 12th grade. Oftentimes with themes come credits, credentials, experiences, and so we wanted to make sure that we were selecting those that had all of those opportunities for students and that we already had a high interest. So for example, we already know that we have a long wait list for our early colleges, so to make sure that we can offer that for more students at the high school level. We also know that our LITD programs did not have a feeder, so once you finished elementary school, you didn't have anywhere to go. So now we want families to know when they enroll in that in kindergarten, they can stay in that pathway in their transportation zone until 12th grade, and we can build the experiences that are thick and rich and vibrant for that program choice.
James.
All the guarantees that currently exist in the lottery system, like sibling guarantee, will those all still remain in place? As
Yes,
part of this?
we believe that we will offer more enhanced guarantees. For example, back to the knowing if I'm in this transportation zone in this program, I'm guaranteed a seat in 6th grade at the feeder school. The parent would have the opportunity to say, I'm not interested in going to the middle school. I want to try something different, or I want to go to my home school, but we would not give that seat away until they committed to the seat or not.
I just wanted to confirm, would it be accurate to say that this will only affect families that are interested in school choice? Not if you are interested in your child in your home school, you wouldn't be affected by this?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Can you explain the changing it from calling middle college to now
Yes.
referring to them as early college?
So our early colleges start in 9th grade, and they go to 12th grade. Some students need an additional year we call the 5th year, because the great thing about that experience is they get tuition free, and our goal is for those kids to graduate with a 2-year associate's degree. The amount of money that they save 2 years of college if they intend to go to a 4-year university, or they can go to work. Oftentimes when a child waits to go in 11th grade to a middle college, it's more challenging for them to get the 63 hours they need in to graduate with a 2-year associate's degree. And our goal is for kids to complete the process. And so what we found is that the students that start 9th grade are more likely to finish the 2-year degree. It transfers. Even if you don't finish, you get the transfer credits, but if you get the associate's degree, anywhere you go, the university will take it, or you can go to work and get those credentials and credits. So we also have a robust wait list. By doing this, we'd add 800 additional seats for families to have access to get a 2-year associate's degree, which would save funding or money for college.
So a follow to that, you're discouraging students from entering in the 11th grade? You're trying to guide them to enter as 9th graders?
Not discouraging. We're recommending that we only offer a 9th grade entry point, because based on data and research, and we looked across the state a couple years ago as well, there are very few middle colleges left because everyone has decided that that's not the best option for students to be successful. Just like we have a graduation rate that we continue to increase and grow, colleges do that as well. So as we partner with our local community colleges, we all have the goal of graduating students. We love for kids to graduate with their college degree, their 2-year associate's degree, before they graduate with their diploma, because they graduate first. And that's our goal, enrolled, enlisted, employed.
James?
On the middle college's point, the last time this came up in 2024, there had been some concerns from the community, and the school board ultimately voted that proposal down. Wondering if you could talk about, is there anything different compared to this time or last time, or different in terms of the approach of bringing this forward now?
I think that's a great question. I think one of the things that we recognize is that people are not as clear. We made some assumptions that people understood the difference between an early college and a middle college, and the thought was, well, kids can go to their home high school, experience that, and then go their junior year. We don't have any middle colleges that are at capacity. All of our early colleges have a wait list. So while we're saying that that sounds great, what our community is saying to us, we only want to go to high school in 9th grade and stay with that community. Friends are important, making connections, getting experiences and opportunities. And what our data is telling us is just like we don't want transiency, families don't want to leave their home high school and go to a middle college their junior year. We work really hard to recruit and get kids to come junior year, but we are never at capacity in those schools. Lots of seats.
To follow up on Stephanie's question earlier, sorry. Well, it's to follow up on, do the majority of families go for program choice or no?
Say it a different way.
So, if she asked if you're not, that this only affects people who are going for program choice. Is that the majority of families in CMS?
It is not the majority of families in CMS. It's a portion, it's a segment. It's about, I think, 20,000 kids apply every year for our choice program seats, and we have 140,000 students in our district, but we have, it's school choice. We want our families to be able to decide where they want to go to school. We also say to families, when you're interested in school choice, then complete the transfer process if you can provide transportation. So we're saying we can meet your needs. We're the 16th largest district in the country. We have a school that's a good fit for everyone at every grade span. But we want to work with our families to separate, are you selecting a school because that's the culture and climate that you're interested in? That's a transfer. Are you selecting a program? We're going to give you a K-12 pathway. That's a program choice.
I did have a follow-up. This draft plan was presented last night, and for step one, the vote will be in May. Have parents been made aware that this is in the works? Because if you read the information to get feedback in March and April, that doesn't seem like enough time to make a vote in May.
Thank you for asking that question. One of the things that we were able to do, we've been working on this for a while. So way back here, we got 10,000 feedback touch points when we got our feedback with Bank Schools of America. So we've already started a year and a half getting feedback from the community, but we're going back out beginning next week, and we're going to have sessions all day, every business day, at our comprehensive high schools the entire month of March. We are also going to add some Saturday dates, and then we're going to have times with our schools that are impacted with those families as well. We've already sent district-wide messaging out. We met with our principals, so information has been going out, but we're being very intentional to make sure that we reach every group so everyone is aware of their opportunities to give us feedback, and then our third-party partner will come in. We will use the presentation, and then they will collect the feedback and synthesize it for us. So we have a very strategic way to make sure everyone's engaged.
So what should parents be doing now?
Parents should be checking our website to make sure that I believe the video is already up there from last night. We also have another video that we're going to post up there. We're going to have a document as well where they can put feedback in. If they just watch the video online and give us feedback, that will be collected, and we'll respond to that as well. And then, as I said, we have 20 high schools that we're going to go to over the course of the month and some Saturday events. So if you want to come in person and engage with us, then we encourage families to come to one of those meetings.
I guess I also mean, like, what should they be looking at as far as their routine? What kind of conversation do you think they should be having with their child amongst the parent? Like, to figure out the answer, what they need to tell the district.
So it's two things. So this will happen 27, 28. So we have an entire year to work with families. So if a student is in a choice program today, when they go to school in August, it'll be business as usual. So even though the vote is going to happen in May, we want to give a long runway so that parents can have individual conversations with the right stakeholders to make sure they get their needs met. Like, do you want to stay for your terminal year? Do you want to stay at the school? Do you want to go to another choice program? Also during that time, we're going to be training teachers, getting additional resources, because again, as we have less, they're going to be deeper, richer, and more robust. So right now today, we just want parents to come out and meet with us, give us feedback, so that we can make sure that we heard all of their feedback, and this is what they've asked us to present, and we want them to give us feedback now on, did we get it right? And then we'll make those changes based on feedback from the community. We'll re-present that plan back in April to the Board of Education. And then based on the public hearing, we will determine if we move forward with the vote or if we have to go back out into the community. If there's anything that has to be changed, we would not vote until we go back out into the community, because we're doing this together with the community. This is not in isolation as a school system.
Rebecca?
Yeah, I was wondering, because you mentioned some of those additional trainings that will be needed, and I think a board member asked about this yesterday, but I was wondering, do you have any initial projections about what cost that might incur for the district, and also where that money would be coming from?
So remember, 16 themes, we're going to 6. So we have programs that we would no longer continue. And by no longer continuing some of those programs, we'll be able to repurpose the funding. So we're not anticipating that this is going to cause an additional line item in our budget. We also have people that are at schools that we're saying we're not going to continue that theme. And so those resources, those skills, if you're an IB coordinator at a school that's been trained, because that's an intense training, then we'd move you to an IB program that we're recommending that would remain. So will there be some small costs? Yes, but because we're reducing so significantly, we think the concentration of the programs will be able to just repurpose the budget.
Stephanie, did you have a question?
Yes, if you were to say to a family the top 3 benefits of this change, what would you say? And what do you think would be the top 3 challenges with implementing this?
I definitely would say for a family, I can remember when I enrolled my child in school. When you can go in and look at all the options, your homeschool, do I want to transfer to another school, or I have these 6 themes, what is my child interested in? We can experiment. We can try that out and go to this school, maybe a program choice, in kindergarten, and I know the entire pathway. And we also know all the experiences and opportunities. But we're also saying that if you get to 5th grade and you don't really like the pathway, then you can change pathways. So what I would say to families is, we heard you and we're responding to your choice. They want clarity, simplicity, and they want it to be easy to understand what can I do, what can I offer to amplify experiences for my students. So those are, I think, the positive things. If there were things to be concerned about, I would say that parents are going to have so many choices, they have to decide with their child what's the right fit. Because again, we have 185 great schools, and now we are going to continue to have these more robust program choice pathways. Our Northwest School of the Arts is a national model. We would all agree with that. We have kids that go to Broadway from there and all the things. We have the only public Montessori high school in the state. So we're already doing great things at our program choice. So as we focus more, we can only get better.
James, do you have any concerns about, obviously there's like this culture shift of going from school choice, the lottery's about school choice, to being about program choice. Do you have any concerns that it'll take a while for families to acclimate to that kind of culture change, that they might still look at the lottery program as, I don't want to go to my home school, so I'm going to apply to this program because it puts me in a school that is a school I want to be in? And how do you kind of communicate that to families to make that clear?
Well, we have gone to digital platform this year, and one of the things that we want to make sure that we do, we're able to push information out. As we got into the community, we want to make sure that we educate our families, and also we're talking with our principals, because communication happens from the inside out, to make sure that our principals understand what opportunities that families have. It's okay if they decide they don't want to go to their neighborhood school for whatever reason, but there's another pathway to get to another school through transfer. We really want families to choose these programs because they really want to be a part of this robust, rigorous experience, and that it's a fit for their student. And it needs to be a fit for the student.
All right, we'll go through a final round of questions. If anybody has, start with Stephanie.
Is this a way to also retain students and keep them in the district instead of them choosing to go, for example, to charter schools or anything like that?
Absolutely. This is a business. Our families are our customers. And that's why I said we've been working on this for a long time. We've gone out into the community multiple times, and we heard feedback from the community, and we have put this plan together based on the feedback that they shared, because our job is to make sure that our customers are satisfied. And we believe we're the best choice in Mecklenburg County.
So to follow up to his question, is it accurate to say that there's no longer a lottery?
Oh, no, there will be a lottery.
There will be a lottery.
So thank you for asking that question. There will be a lottery, because the lottery will also tell us what are you interested in, because while we're going to have fewer, we're still going to have 6 themes in your transportation zone, so you would apply for the lottery to get the seat. But now, when you get in, if you decide to get in an elementary school to a program choice, once you get in the program, as long as you're continuing to meet the conditions, then at the end of 5th grade, we're going to ask you, are you happy? Does your child want to continue in this pathway in this program choice? So they would only have to do the lottery in theory one time, not every time, not do I need to do it this next year, and then the sibling would naturally get a seat. So we think, again, simple, clear, not as many things to navigate as a parent. So unless you change program choice, once you start in this program in elementary and you're holding up your end of the bargain, then we're committed to you staying in that program with a guaranteed seat until you graduate, which that is not how it is today.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for being here today, helping spread this information to our community and our families. You know how to get in touch with us. If you have additional follow-up questions, we'll be happy to help you. But we really appreciate your time today and for spending part of it with us. So thank you. Thank you.